Okay, welcome back, guys. We are starting a new topic called rotational dynamics. Okay, this will definitely be one of my favorite topics in entire mechanics. Okay, like all the things that we've learned until today is actually going to lead us to this topic, which is one of the most interesting, favorite, and which is the most irritating topic for a lot of people also. Like a lot of people really hate this topic. I mean, I've been making memes about it. You might have seen it already about the rotational dynamics thing. A lot of people find it difficult because they don't follow it from the beginning. That is the biggest issue. So here I am giving you a biggest suggestion that I can. Please do not neglect this topic. I'm mentioning it right at the beginning of this topic. Don't neglect this topic. This is a very fun and interesting topic. I mean, I find it really fun. It feels like you're solving a lot of puzzles using this topic. Okay, it's just a puzzle solving kind of a topic. So that's why I really like it. So please don't ignore this thing. And before I start the topic, I need some volunteers right here because I'm going to show you some videos. And if anybody can explain how these things work, yeah, here it is. The thing that you're looking at right now on the screen, I hope you can see that. What is that thing? What do you call that thing as? You can raise your hands and speak up. Any idea? Anybody? Aditya already typed saying gyroscope. Karthik also says gyroscope. Okay, cool. Anybody else has an answer? And what exactly is happening? Why is it rotating like that? Anybody? Raise your hands and speak up. You can. What exactly is happening there? No idea. Okay, Aditya has an answer. Says what? Aditya, you can speak up. You see that?
Sir, is it about centrifugal
Now,
motion?
guys, well, just 1 second. Like, watch what's happening right now. At the end of the video, you've seen something, right? Let me take you to the end of. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I'm going to the wrong video then. At the end of this video, you see something really beautiful. You see this, not yeah, this part. This part especially, like it is hanging on just by one side from one string. It is just basically hanging on that string point only, but yet it is rotating like that. Okay, Aditya, you were saying something.
Yeah, I was saying, is it because of centrifugal force, sir?
No, it's not that simple. If it is that simple, people wouldn't find this topic of rotation dynamics that difficult. Okay, so that is an interesting bit. Again, this toy is called a gyroscope. Okay, like anyone wants to give me anything on my birthday, you can buy me this. Okay, the gyroscope. It's really fun. Like, see what happens now. You see that this is really fun. I mean, this is really interesting. I've posted this. Oh no, I haven't posted. Why don't I just post this today? I'll post this today and let everyone know that we've started rotation mechanics. Quite an interesting thing. Like, you put that thing inside a box, and the box actually rotates like that, and you make it stand like that. It just goes on and on. It won't fall off. Like, let's just watch the video again. Okay, from the beginning. You watch that. So he spins it, basically puts it inside that box, puts it inside the box, and he leaves the box on one tip, and it just goes around just like that. How interesting is that? Right? It's really interesting. I mean, I would find it really interesting. I'm not sure about you people. I mean, you could be idiots. So this is another gyroscope. Oh, it's not running. Why is it not running? I mean, it's running on my screen, but it's not running on your screen. Yeah, now it is running. Yeah, you can see that. It's just hanging on his finger and rotating like that. Okay, and I'll have another video. Yeah, this is also an interesting video. Watch this thing. So basically, he spins a wheel, hangs it like that, leaves it, and see what happens. It's just balanced itself on one end, and it's going around and around. Now, if you don't find these videos interesting, I'm not sure what you will find interesting as. Okay, if any of you people have any answers about these things, any statements according to I mean about these things, you can go ahead and speak up. Aditya already said something about what did Aditya say? He said something about centrifugal force. I guess no, it's not that silly. But if you have any answers, Karthik has another word called torque. Okay, Karthik, it's not that simple again. It's not just torque. Anything else? Anyone else, guys? No, it's not just talk. There is a lot more to talk about. I mean, look at those videos. It's the best, I mean, like the most interesting videos that you can find in the entire mechanics topic. Okay, mechanics means the topics until that we taught. I mean, we discussed until now. Okay, all the topics. And Karthik has another word called angular momentum. Guys, let's just leave it like that. We will understand all those ideas, all the videos that we have seen just right now. All those videos will be explained by the end of this topic, most probably. Okay, I cannot explain it at this point. No matter what I do, no matter how uh, easy I try to put, there is no way that you actually can understand what just happened there. Okay, so at the end of this topic, we are going to talk about the gyroscope thing. Gyroscope is an interesting topic. The gyroscopic effect will be discussed at the end of this topic. I have another question. Sai Vamshi has says axis of rotation. What does that mean? Yeah, of course there is an axis of rotation, but why is it rotating like that? That's my question. Okay, Gopika raises her hand. Okay, Gopika, what is it?
Sir, like for that, on his one hand, he will be balancing that object, no, sir.
Yeah.
For that, like, can I say that because of his hand, some acceleration is given at an angle to
No,
that
no,
body?
no, no.
So
Trust me,
that
trust me.
component
Trust
of force will be towards the center, which will be like centripetal force, and one will be towards outside. So it is balancing, like it's moving in a circular motion that way continuously.
Okay,
Can we?
I like the process. I mean, like the way of process that you're trying to think that since the body is kind of trying to go in a circular motion, there must be some force which is actually putting it in the circular motion. So there must be some centripetal force. That's your statement. I appreciate it. Vamshi has something to say. Vamshi, what is it?
Said the gyroscopes, with respect to axis of symmetry at high speed, they rotate. No, sir.
So,
Because of this, I kept as a change of axis.
no, no, no. It's not that easy. Aditya says, is the center of mass shifted? No, there is no shift of center of mass. Why don't I discuss this thing? Okay, if you have seen this video that I've posted long ago, uh, let's just discuss all these interesting topics. This is today is just a introduction day type of a class. Okay, we'll be discussing very little about the topic, but what are the things that we are going to learn in this topic? Okay, I've posted a video which is a very old video on Instagram. If you haven't seen that, you all have heard of a thing called a CD player, a Walkman player. Like you used to have this thing in my childhood. You people grow up with iPods and iPads and all, right? But in my childhood, there used to be a CD player. Like you have a CD disc, you put it in, it rotates, and you connect with it through a 3.5 mm jack, and you have a headset and all. But in that video, we have something really interesting. So an astronaut takes two of these things to space, two of these things to space. He pushes this one, he pushes this one. The first one just goes straight, like travels a straight, as straight in a straight line. But the second one kind of wobbles. It wobbles like this. Okay. The first one, he pushes both of those things. The first one just goes straight. The second one kind of wobbles like this. Okay. That is an interesting video also. That will be discussed in this topic one day. Okay. There is no, I mean, like at the end of this topic, it kind of makes sense to you people. There is no rocket science, or there is no witchcraft in it. Okay. This is a very basic thing. But why exactly is happening? I'm not sure if you can find it. Go to the Instagram page and find the video. Okay. Try to find, I think I posted it a month ago, I guess, a month or a month and a half, maybe. Okay, so in that video, he gives some small impulses to both the CD players. One of the CD players simply goes straight, and the other CD player kind of wobbles like this. You can give the, I mean, like in the comments, somebody actually answered that, so it's a good thing. And then after that, I have a question for you people. Take a tire, take a coin, take any round object, a disc or a tire or a coin itself. Like take a disc-shaped body. You try to make it stand simply like that. It won't stand. But when it is running, let's use a word called rolling. We don't know what rolling is yet, but let's just use this word called rolling. But when it is rolling, it is stable. I hope you get the question. I hope you understand the point. When the coin is just standing on a board, or when a tire is standing on the ground, when it is at rest, it will simply fall off. But when it is rolling or when it is running, it won't. It kind of stabilizes itself. How is it doing? How is that happening? Like take a bicycle, for example. It is very much difficult to balance a bicycle when it is at rest. But when the bicycle is actually in running, like when the bicycle is not running, if someone's riding a bicycle, it's moving, it kind of balances itself. Like you've seen these videos, the bicycles, like even if you jump off the bicycle, kind of balances itself. Like it can move up to some distance. How exactly is this happening? Anybody has any idea? The same old center of mass or center axis of rotation or angular momentum or torque? Please don't give me the old words. If you have anything new to offer, go ahead and tell me. A wire or a tire or a ring or a coin or a disc or whatever it is, when it is not running, it is almost impossible to balance itself on the ground. But when it is running, when it is moving, in most of the situations, it kind of balances itself. How does that happen? I don't see any arc. I don't see any hands raised. So do I take that as a okay, Gopika? Are you going to say something?
Sir, like, is it because
Your voice
like
is way too
when
low.
it
Your
is,
voice is way too low.
sir, like when it is rolling, then the point of contact with the ground is at one point only, no, sir. So it is like kinetic friction is not there that much.
Wow, you're
So it
bringing in
is,
way too many words right here, kinetic friction and all. But again, this idea, let me tell you something. Let me mark all these things. This idea, and this gyroscopic idea. All of them are related to one single thing, only one simple idea, and that all of those things can easily be answered. So let's just rest all these topics to the end of this topic, and by the end of this topic, at some point, you will actually bring up these ideas, saying, "Sir, I know how that thing works." Like you have to bring that thing up. Okay, I might even forget this thing, so don't even expect me to discuss this thing again. At some point, you will bring in all these ideas and actually try to discuss these ideas. Okay. At some point, you will understand, maybe in the next week or in the next week. Basically, rotation dynamics takes 2 weeks to discuss. So in this week or in the next week, you might have to bring this idea and discuss with us. Okay. Let's do that. But leave that all out, leave all the big signs out. Let us start with the basic science now. Let us start with the basic science now, which is called as a rotation. Now, what exactly is rotation? What is it? Okay, basic question. What is the difference between a revolution and a rotation? Please answer this thing. I want answers for this thing. You've learned this thing basically in your schools. What is the difference between rotation and revolution? Is sun rotating or sun is sun in revolutionary motion? No, not revolution. What do you call this? Is sun going in revolutions or rotating? I'm not sure how I frame that question right. Sumant, Chetan, anybody can speak.
And I feel like revolution, if a body is moving in a circular motion or if it completes one circle, then it is said to be a revolution, sir.
Okay, what
If
is
it,
rotation?
Sir, if it turns along its axis, its own axis, that's known as rotation.
Rotation. Okay, Chetan?
Sir, I think revolution is a horizontal motion and rotation is a vertical motion.
No, Chetan, that is not at all.
Sir.
Vamshi, yeah, tell me.
Sir, revolution, I think the object means, rotation means it will rotate on its own axis.
Okay.
Like Earth rotates on its own axis.
So Earth rotates about its own axis. That is called as rotation. Revolution is?
Sir, it revolves around the sun, right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
Yeah, Earth is revolving around sun and Earth is
Yes.
rotating about its own axis.
Exactly.
Can we say
Yes,
that?
sir.
Yes, sir, we can say.
So I'm going to use Aditya. You also unmuted. I mean, like you raised your hand. Do you have
Yes.
anything to add?
Sir, I have the answer for that coin thingy, sir.
No. Nobody has the answer for coin thing yet. Okay.
No, like I had one guess with the frictional forces.
No, not now. Not now.
So can we say that both are rotating around some axis? But if the axis is passing to center of mass, it is rotation or else revolution.
Okay. Aniket, I have a question for you, but we will bring that. Let people be. I mean, like learn it in a peaceful way, and then we fight about it. I have a really good question for you. Let's just settle it, saying if a body, if a point or a point mass, let us say this is a center, and going around like this. We're talking about this body. So we call this as revolution. Okay. So let's just call this as a revolution. It is going about some other center. Okay. So Earth is in a Earth is revolving around Sun. That is a good thing. Earth is simply revolving around the Sun. Now, let us talk about rotation. Let us talk about rotation. Okay. Rotation is when the body is just going about its own axis. It's like Earth is rotating about its own axis. Earth is rotating definitely for sure about its own axis. Now, anything to add? Anybody? Earth is just rotating about its own axis.
Yes,
And
sir. One small thing I noticed.
yes, tell me.
Sir, what you are calling rotation, that the center of mass is not changing, but for revolution it is changing its position.
That's a good observation. Saying in this thing, the center of mass is obviously moving, but here the center of mass is not moving. So that is rotation. Then that is revolution. Okay. For beginners, this is a good statement. This is a good way to put it, saying that is revolution and this is rotation. Okay, that is a beginner statement. I would actually agree with it. Let's just step up a little. Let us just step up a little and take a disk and about its own axis. According to our statement, it is rotating. Oh, sorry, rotation is green, right? Let's use green for rotation all the time. Let's just say the disk is rotating about its own axis. Now, Aniket, I have a question for you. Aniket, don't go mute. Aniket, where are you? Yeah, I have a question for you now. According to us, this is a simple rotation thing, like about its own axis, the body is rotating. My question is, Aniket, same disk, if it is rotating about this axis, I mean, that's possible, right?
Yes, sir.
Like, let me show you a disk. Do I have a disk? No, I don't have a disk. What kind of a room am I living in? Let's just take my phone. Okay. Let's just take my phone. If it is rotating about its center, yeah, we all call this as a rotation thing. Okay, that's fine. But what if it is rotating about this point?
That is revolution, sir.
Oh, this is rotation, this is revolution.
Yes, sir. Maybe.
When did you change that?
Sir, I guess because of that center of mass thing, maybe.
No. Okay. Aditya, you have something to say?
Sir, I think like rotation is something when the axis is inside the body, and revolution is something where the axis is outside the body.
So let's talk about this point. Like this is where the axis is. I hope you can see my phone, right? You can see my phone?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
sir.
Is this revolution or rotation?
Rotation, sir, for me.
So if this is, what is this then?
Revolution.
Oh, now you changed it. Okay, so there's a statement saying like that.
Yeah. That
No.
axis should be inside or outside the body
No.
means.
No. Let us just forget about all these statements for a bit. Okay. For a basic level student, like somebody asking an IPE level question, somebody is asking an MSET level question. Yeah, you can go ahead and saying that Earth is going in a revolutions in around the sun, and Earth is rotating about its own axis and all. Yeah, you can definitely talk about it. But we are grown-ups, right? We are not children anymore. We don't talk about things in these stupid statements. Okay, so let's look at this whole thing in a different aspect. We need to talk about a thing called rigid body. First of all, we need to talk about a thing called rigid body. Now, what is a rigid body? Do you remember right from Raghav Manigam? Okay, you raised his hand. Raghav, what is it?
Sir, I was just about to tell the definition for this rigid body, sir.
Oh, tell me, please.
So the Intermolecular particles doesn't move, sir. That means the distance between two intermolecular
That's a
particles
big
it is
statement, but the people
it is
might be
constant.
confused with all the statements that we are throwing at them. Guys, don't get confused. You can basically stick with this basic statement that we talked about it. Revolution is the sun earth example. So, earth is going around sun in revolution. Earth is going around itself. It is rotation. We can simply talk about that. But we want to talk about more things, right? We don't want to stick to this simple statement. So that is why I'm going to talk about something really big here. Okay. We are going deep now. I'm talking about a rigid body. Now, a rigid body is when you have a body, a disk, let us say, a disk, let us say. You take any 2 points on the disk, the distance between the distance between these 2 points, it should not change, which means it shouldn't be an elastic body. If you have an elastic, I mean, yeah, you can say it is elastic and all. We can talk about those things later, but the distance between these two bodies, it shouldn't change. So we should not have an elastic body. We have a body where the body is rigid, the distance between any two particles. Like Raghav just said, he gave a very big statement saying the intermolecular force distances and all. Yeah, we can just stick that saying the distances between any two molecules, it should be simply the same. The value should not change. So that is when you call it as a rigid body. And we have been basically dealing with rigid bodies your whole life. Like when I said a block of mass is traveling with a speed v, what do you mean? What do you actually mean? We mean each and every particle in the block. Each and every particle in the block is actually basically traveling with the same speed. We never discussed this thing, but we've always agreed to this point. Whenever you have a block accelerating, which means all the particles are accelerating the same acceleration. That is what we've been dealing with all the topics until now. Okay, and each and every situation, all the particles are rigid only. It's not like you have a block, this particle is traveling with v1 and this particle is traveling with v2. How can this happen? This cannot happen. The bodies are rigid. So each and every situation, the particles should travel with the same velocity v1 v1. So if you take any body v1 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 a1 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 a1, so all of these things are rigid bodies only, except all of them are traveling with the same velocity. We call that as a translatory motion. Translatory motion, as if all the particles are traveling with the same velocity. There is no difference at all. All the particles are traveling with the same velocity. But now comes the difference. We still have the rigid bodies. We still have the rigid bodies, even though the body is a rigid body. No, I hope you're following. Here the bodies are rigid and all the particles are having the same velocity, same acceleration, just as center of mass. But here we have a rigid body. Let us take a square plate. This particle has a velocity like this. 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 I hope you can already understand that. The body
sir,
is
it is
basically
rolling.
rotating. Yeah, who's that?
No, sir, I was just saying the body is rotating.
The body is actually rotating now. Okay, I hope you clearly see the difference between the translatory motion and rotatory motion. Guys, if you are confused, please let me know. Okay, the basic definition here we talked about it is over. Like this is the basic stuff that kids learn. We are not talking about the basic stuff anymore. We are talking about the big things now. So this is a rigid body mechanics. We're talking about rigid bodies. In the rigid bodies, we've already talked about translatory motions for the past 5 topics. I never discussed that to you, but we've been already talking about the translatory motion for the past 5 topics. Now we are talking about the rigid body mechanics only, but now I introduced rotation mechanics. Even though the velocities are different, Aniket, what is it?
Sir, can we even say that rigid body can never have elastic collision like that?
We can, yes, actually say that. Rigid bodies, we don't bring those things in the topic of elastic collisions, in fact. In the topic of elastic collision, we just assume that there is elasticity and the bodies compress and expand and all. So no, don't even bring the idea of rigid bodies into the elastic collisions. Okay, we don't discuss that thing there. Like we don't just bring that kind of approximation into those topics. That's all. Okay. So I hope you understand. We are talking about. We mean like we've been always talking about rigid bodies only. We've been talking about rigid bodies only. We've always talked about the translatory motion. Now, right from the topic of kinematics, when a car is traveling with a velocity, when a block is traveling with a velocity, when a body is traveling with velocity, the whole body is translatory motion. The whole body, all the particles are traveling with the same velocity. And then after kinematics, we've talked about Newton laws. So where there are forces and all. And then we've talked about the momentums. And then we talked about energies. We've talked about all these things in the translatory motion. Now I'm introducing the new idea called rotatory motion. And in this rotatory motion, we will have to talk about kinematics. We will talk about momentum. We will talk about energies. That is there for sure. But I'm introducing this idea right now here to you people, saying whenever you have a body, and the body is rotating, you already know what it is. Rotation is like it can be about an axis passing through its body. It can, like, yeah, you people had some doubts, like it can be talking about passing through its axis, or like take the same body, the axis is here and it is rotating. Take the same body, the axis is here and the whole body is rotating. Take the same body here and the axis is here and the whole body is rotating. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all whether the axis is inside, whether the axis is outside. We only look at the whole body as multiple particles here, multiple particles here, multiple particles here, multiple particles here, and all the particles are simply going in what? Circular motion. That's all. This particle is going in a circular motion like this. This particle is going in a circular motion. This particle is going in a circular motion. This particle is going in a circular motion like this. That is what we simply do. We simply deal with all these bodies as single particles, and all those particles are going in a circular motion like this. This particle is going in a circular motion like this. This is like this. This is like this. This is like this. This will come in a circular motion like this. This will come in a circular motion like this. Yes. Aniket, what is it?
Rotation and revolution are same, right?
No, please don't make statements like that. You will clearly understand why people want to call these things as separate things. Okay. As a big boy right now, you are learning rotation dynamics. So don't even bring those terms here. You're looking at particles, multiple particles going in circular motions. That's all. That is the thing that you need to observe. Okay, you're looking at particles going in circular motions, and this is like basic frames of references and all. Like all those things are involved. So yeah, you can definitely say things like rotation and revolution and all. We will get into this. We will slowly get into all those points later. You will get a better idea about rotation and revolution slowly. You'll clearly you will be able to distinguish it clearly. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. There is a clear distinction between those two things, rotation and revolution. But what I'm asking you is simply try to look at the whole thing as some particles going in circular motion. Try to simply try to understand, try to imagine all the particles are going in circular motion. And we are not even discussing big topics today. Okay, we are only talking about simple disk. We're talking about a simple disk going in a rotatory motion. So it doesn't matter if it is rotatory or revolution or anything. All you need to do is simply look at all these particles going in circular motions. That's all. That is what all you need to look at. When you see a complex motion happening, all you need to look at is all the particles, little particles. Don't try to look at the whole body as a single body and try to define and try to put it in a different box right now today itself. We will definitely do that in a day or two, maybe like 3 days or 4 days. But right now, all you need to do is just look at the body as all the particles going in circular motion. let us call that as a rotation for now. We are only dealing with this rotational motion for now, where a body is rotating about some specific axis. A body is rotating about some specific axis, which in turn means all the particles in the body are simply going in a circular motion about that axis. That's it. That is what you need to look at. And sir, can I only take the center of mass of the body? No, you don't have to. Let us take, okay, let us take this also as an example. Let's take this axis, for example. Yeah, so this is about which the body is rotating. Now, no matter, like, don't try to define it this yet, like whether it is a rotator or whatever it is. All you need to do is, like, look at this particle. This will simply go in a circular motion. Look at this particle. This will go in a circular motion like this. This particle will go in a circular motion like this. That is what you need to look at when the disc is completely rotating. Just try to look at the whole body in single particle systems. The problem gets really simple. We'll slowly step into all the ideas. Okay, we'll slowly do that. But the entire topic, during this entire topic, we are only going to look at this whole thing as a simple thing, saying we're all just looking at all the system as a system of particles. In fact, you don't even find this topic in your IP textbook. It is under the topic of system of particles. I don't think there is a topic called rotational mechanics in IP or NCERT textbook. There is a topic called system of particles, and in that system of particles, there is this topic. So rotatory motion is actually considered as a system of particles going around a specific axis. That is the important idea. So using that idea, we will slowly build all these points. But today we are not going to discuss that deep into this topic. Today we are going to only discuss a basic idea, which is the first thing. What is the first thing? Like I mentioned in the rotational mechanics also, the basic thing, the kinematics part, we are going to discuss that thing, which you already have discussed, on which you are actually going to write the exam this week. So rotational kinematics. Rotational kinematics. It is simply the same thing. Like back then, we have a center and a particle going in a circular motion. When we did that, we had these things. Remember, if you have linear displacement x, we have angular displacement, linear velocity, linear acceleration, angular acceleration. We even had all these equations, v equals to u plus at, the similar equation, omega final equals to omega initial plus alpha t, and omega final square minus omega initial square equals to 2
One
alpha.
small doubt. What is difference between this rotational mechanics and circular motion then?
Nothing. Like
Then why
in
separate
circular
them?
motion, you only talk about one particle. In this topic, we are going to talk about all the particles at once. You get the point?
Yes, sir.
We are going to deal with all the particles at once. We are not going to talk about, if only you only end up talking about kinematics, that's where you stopped. If only that's where you stopped, yeah, there is no difference in rotatory motion and circular motion. There is no difference at all. If only you stopped at kinematics, there is no difference at all. But if only you stepped up and talk about force, we will be talking about torque. If you talk about linear momentum, you will be talking about angular momentum. If you're talking about kinetic energies, we will be talking about rotational kinetic energies. That is where the topic actually changes, which is in the next week or the next, like in the further days. But today, there is no difference at all. This is basically a circular motion topic. Instead of talking about one particle, we say all the particles displaced. Like, let us say, let me show you a diagram. A big disk. I'm taking about the center only. You can, why not center? Why center? Like, let's be some outlaws. Okay, let's be some bad people. Okay, let's take this particle right here. It moved up to this point. Like when the disk rotated by an angle theta, you need to observe the one point. This particle rotated by same theta, and if you take some particle over here, this also rotated by the same angle theta. So the important thing that you remember is, like, you understand is, no matter what's the radius, like the radius, this is R1 and this is R2, the radius is getting bigger. Like they take a particle on the rim, this particle also displaced by the same angle. Like if you talk about the distances, obviously, like look at these distances. This is different, and this is different for sure. but we're not talking about the linear things and at all anymore. Like the whole disk displaced by an angle theta about some axis. It's not even center. So if you take another particle here, somewhere around here, yeah, this also will simply displaced by an angle theta. So we are only going to, I mean, like at combinedly, we are talking about all the particles which displaced by theta. Or if we talk about the angular velocity, let's talk about the angular velocity. This is the best part. In the circular motion, like Aniket asked, what is the difference? In circular motion, we only talked about the circular motion of one particle. Here we are talking about the circular motions of all the particles. So if I say about this axis, the disk has an angular velocity omega, I can happily say a particle somewhere around here has an angular velocity omega. A particle which is really close to the rim also has an angular velocity omega only. It's not about how fast it is going. It is about what is the angle it is covering. Like you could be at the rim and you cover 45 degrees, and you could be right next to the axis and you cover 45 degrees. You cover the same angular displacement. The angular velocity is same for both of you. That is important point. Yeah. When you want to talk about the linear quantities, yes, there is definitely the topic is definitely related. Like we remember, right? The linear and the angular velocities are related as v equals to r omega, a equals to r alpha, theta equals to r. Wait, sorry, x equals to r theta or something like that. We've talked about these things already. If you want these linear quantities, yes, we will bring in them into the topic definitely for sure. But as long as you're talking about the angular quantities, as long as you're talking about the angular quantities, this is the body, and let us say this is the axis. Now, you talk about this particle here. Let us say it covered an angle of 12 degrees. You talk about some particle over here, it also covers an angle of 12 degrees only. So the angular displacement, when you're talking about the angular displacement, it's for the whole disk. I mean, about that axis, the whole disk displacement angle displacement. So you can talk about the circular motion of this particle. You can talk about the circular motion of this particle. You can talk about the circular motion of this particle. This particle will go like this. I mean, it is out of my iPad's range. You can talk about anyway, no matter which particle you're talking about the same angular displacement, same angular velocity, same angular acceleration. So in the kinematics part, yes, you are definitely dealing with the same equations, just like omega final equals to omega initial plus alpha t, omega final square minus omega initial square equals to 2 alpha theta. And what else is there? What's the third equation? Anybody remember?
So theta is equals to omega t.
Theta equals to
omega t plus
half alpha t square, right?
yes, sir.
Right. So theta t equals to omega t plus half alpha t square. So these three equations, you can use the third equation also. In the fourth equation, I don't even remember what the fourth equation is. The displacement in nth second. We don't need that. We don't need the fourth equation. We just need these three equations, and we are basically dealing with circular motion only, but we are dealing with the circular motion of all the particles at once. And no matter what's the radius of the particle, the thing that you need to remember is we are dealing with angle here. We're dealing with angular velocity here. So guys, remember, all the particles have the same angular displacement. All the particles have same angular velocity. All the particles have the same angular acceleration also. So Karthik sent a doubt saying, sir, when we are in train, we see a tree far. Karthik, that is a different thing. We will talk about it some other time. Okay, like he's asking a tree which is really close, it goes fast. A tree which is really far away, it doesn't look like the tree is moving that really fast. We will talk about it later. Okay, like right now it is not the right time to discuss that topic. It doesn't, I mean, we can talk about the angles and all, but it's not the right time. Let's just concentrate on these ideas. Okay. So guys, you can go ahead and even in the rotational dynamics topic, you will definitely find these formulas useful. Like I can show you that in H.C. Verma, there is a part where rotation, yeah, you see that this is a rotational mechanics topic and there is kinematics there. Okay, so he basically deals with the same equations that we've dealt in the past, and there are one or two problems about that thing, kinematics thing. If you want the linear velocities, if you want the linear accelerations, if you want any linear quantities, we already have these relations. where you simply multiply it with the radius, like the linear displacement x equals to r theta, v equals to r omega, a equals to r alpha. I hope you remember these things. Whatever the radius that you want to put, you can find these quantities. So yeah, that's it. That is a bit that where I want to discuss about the kinematics. Since we've already talked about kinematics, and let me remind you about this thing. Just like the circular motion topic, this is the same exact thing. There is no difference at all, except we are dealing with all the particles at once. And also the important point is all the particles are completing the same angle, same angular velocity, same angular acceleration. We don't really have to worry about this topic. Okay, so the first few problems are about these equations only. Like, go ahead, you can solve these problems. Today, I'm not just gonna end the topic with those simple ideas, with the simple kinematics. What was the next topic after kinematics? Anybody? What was the next topic that we need to talk about kinematics after kinematics? We need to talk about, we talked about force here. We are going to talk about something which is similar here. Kinematics part is done. Something called torque. Something called torque. Now, can somebody explain me, give me an example, what exactly is torque? A lot of people face an issue stating what torque is. Can somebody give me an example, a statement, what exactly is torque? Raghav.
Sir, the door handles are situated at like the maximum
Torque is
distance
the
away from the
main,
hinge.
the torque is the main reason of rotating, sir. I mean,
Yeah, torque is the main reason of rotation. Yes, I agree. And
sir, it tries to rotate all the point masses of a body in a
can we
circular
actually
motion.
define it like that? Like, can we say like,
Can I?
Can I once try?
Sir,
Sir, torque is any
ca-
force that doesn't move the center of mass, but it's still acting.
no, please don't make your own statement.
sir,
Can
can
I?
we say that it's force
Please don't
equivalent in
make your own
rotational
statement.
motion?
Wait, let Sharath speak. Sharath, what is it?
Sir, can we say that it's force equivalent in rotational motion?
Yes, we can kind of say that, just like linear displacement and angular displacement, linear acceleration. So it is like a force equivalent, like a quantity that that actually is transmitted into the rotational dynamics. Like where there we have force, here we have torque. We can say that, but that's not the exact definition of torque. No.
Sir,
That twisting force
Twisting force,
angular
okay,
acceleration.
twisting force, okay.
means
A
to the
force
bolt
caused
to
by
the
angular acceleration is torque.
Okay, like guys, no matter, yeah, your understanding is always welcome, but no matter how bad we try, we cannot really bring it into a definition. Okay, torque is when you have a body, like you don't even have a body. First of all, we don't even need to talk about a body, and you have a center about which the axis is passing. Okay, this is how the system is about to rotate. This is how about it is intent is rotate about this axis. It is ready to rotate about this axis. And when you apply a force, at any point, torque is defined like, you simply take this force vector, try to draw perpendicular from the axis of rotation. That is the perpendicular distance, r perpendicular. So torque is defined as F into that r perpendicular. We can simply like bluntly define it this way. Okay, like force into the perpendicular distance. This is a blunt definition of torque. Whenever you have a force acting on a body about some axis, you simply bluntly can define it saying F into r. But this is not the right way to discuss torque. Okay, like speaking about torque, there are a lot of ways. There is a plenty of topic to talk about it, but today let's just keep it completely practical. Okay, let's not jump into this thing. Tomorrow I'm going to give you all ideas about torque, like what exactly, how strictly we need to follow a statement about torque, how theoretically we need to define torque, and how we need to discuss all these topics. Tomorrow we'll bring up. But today, let's just discuss about some of the practical examples of torque, like wherever the things that you have seen a torque situation. Like, please try to Give me some
Give
example.
me
So door, sir, while you are opening a door or closing a door, sir.
One example is already done. While you're opening or closing or a door, you're actually applying some torque on the door. Your force, you're definitely applying some force, and the force is creating some torque, and that is why the door is rotating. The door is rotating about the hinge. You all know what a hinge is, right? Like door is fixed to a wall. That connection is called as hinge. So the door is rotating about the hinge. The door is rotating about the hinge because of the torque that is created by your force. That is one example. Good. Anything else?
Sir, if we have a ball and we are applying force tangentially,
We have a ball and you try to apply some force tangentially. Yes, that is torque. Anything
Sir,
else?
steering, sir. Vehicle steering or steering of
Vehicle
a car.
steering. Okay, good. Let other people also try. Let other people also try. Vehicle steering. Chetan, Sai.
Sir, the top, sir, top, when we
Uh,
pull a thread,
what?
Top,
top,
sir.
when we
Top.
pull a
Yes,
thread, sir.
when you have a top, you're pulling a thread. You're actually creating
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of torque. Karthik gave a really good answer to this thing. A spanner rotating a bolt. That is one of the best examples that we can give to understand torque. Okay, a spanner, and we all know the practical idea about this thing. Like a spanner has a longer length. It is easy to turn it. You all know that, right? Like a spanner, when it has a longer length, the perpendicular distance is more. Let's just keep it practical today only. Like tomorrow we will be talking about all the theoretical ideas. A spanner is nothing but a wrench. Okay, a wrench. Like when you have a bolt, you're trying to turn it. The longer the spanner or the wrench is, the easier it is to turn that thing. So that's why you see a car bolt or a lorry, a truck bolt being loosened. You actually see a very long wrench, and people are trying to stand at the edge of the wrench and try to create the torque. So that is one of the good examples. Neeti and Preeti give
a spin ball in
seesaw.
cricket.
Yeah, seesaw is a great example for torque. Yes. Anything else, guys?
They're opening bottle
The
cap.
spin ball in cricket.
That's a good example of opening a water bottle cap. That's a good example,
Yes.
right? So if only like at any point, if you are failing to open a water bottle cap, no, you can't really do anything about it. You use a wrench, maybe you can open that. The best idea, maybe. Otherwise, there is no better way to open a bottle. No, there is, because the torque, I mean, the perpendicular distance is fixed, the radius of the bottle is fixed, right? So we can't really do anything about it. If only there is a way to increase the radius of the bottle, yeah, then definitely. Object rotating using string. Aditya, why do you want to go so theoretical? I'm asking some practical examples that you see in your daily life.
Sir, in
Hands
cricket,
on-
spin ball is example.
What?
Spin ball, sir, in cricket.
Oh, right. In cricket, you're spinning a ball. You're basically creating some torque on the ball, and that is why it is spinning. Yes. The thing
Twisting
that I
the
have
tap.
right in front of me, fan, an electric fan. The motor is actually creating a lot of torque, so that the
Sir, a wheel of a vehicle, sir.
Aditya gives some a good example. Yo-yo, yes, yo-yo is a good example. Our foot applies torque on the ground while running. Raghav, it is difficult to understand it.
Sir, in yo-yo, gravity is giving torque, right?
No, it's not gravity. It's actually the force from the string itself, the tension itself. Yes. So vacuum cleaners, how are they creating torque? Srinikhil says vacuum cleaner. No, vacuum cleaners are not creating anything.
So
Sir,
when we say wheels of any vehicle, they are rotating.
That is
right?
good. Yes, all the wheels, guys. You do one thing. You try to check the torque offered by all the sports cars that you know. Okay, anybody knows amount of torque that is given by a Lamborghini Aventador? Anybody know the amount of torque? Now leave about Lamborghini Aventador. Why don't you compare the vehicle that you have in your house? Amount of torque, it is always given. Okay, the torque is like if you go online and try to look for specifications, if it is Maruti Swift, if it is I-20, or if it is
The
Creta,
rotations per minute.
no, not the rotations per minute. That is RPM. That is basically angular velocity. Oh, let me just mention that thing anyway. The angular velocity, you have omega, right? Omega is nothing but angular velocity. Like this is d theta by dt, if you remember that. So some people don't give angular velocities in terms of angle. They sometimes give the angular velocities in terms of rotations per minute. I forgot to mention that. Why not? Why don't I mention that here only? Like, watch this thing. So whenever you have a body rotating like this, okay, it, let us say in 1 minute, it covered one full circle. So I'm saying 2 pi is the angle it covered by 1 minute. This is omega, angle covered by time. That is the angular velocity. But some people want to write this as it completed one rotation per 1 minute, 1 rpm, one rotation per minute. You can say 2 pi radians per minute. You can say 2 pi radians per minute, or you can say 1 rpm. Both are the same things. Now, the thing that you see, rpm is not the torque. They actually mention the torque in terms of nm. Anybody has an idea why? It's nothing but force in newtons, the perpendicular distance in meters. So the torque is
Sir, I
always
have one
mentioned
doubt.
as nm. Yeah, tell me.
So this torque needs to come from the center of that wheel or from the side, like tangential.
It's not actually center, or it's not at this tangential. It's actually where the bolts are fixed. Like when the wheel is there, the wheel is fixed to the bolts, right? That the engine is actually transmitting the torque through the bolts. Like that is the point where you get the torque. Raghav just check the torque of Lamborghini as 720 plus. 720 Newton meter is a very high amount of torque. Trust me, guys. The amount of torque that we get on our cars is 100 or 80 or 120 or something like that, I guess. So 720 Newton meter torque is high. Does anyone know the amount of torque that is offered by the new electrical vehicle that is launched by Hummer? Anyone have heard of Hummer EV? Hummer electrical vehicle, it offers 16,000 Newton meters. That torque is insane. Okay, the amount of torque that Hummer electric vehicle can offer is just insane. Like, this is a Lamborghini. Compare with a Lamborghini, you look at this thing. Lamborghini is an awesome vehicle itself. Compared to that, the amount of torque a Hummer electrical vehicle offers is huge. Okay,
Sir, it might need lot of petrol for that torque, right?
this is a EV. EV means electrical vehicle.
Oh, okay.
So it runs on battery. So the motors are extremely powerful. Okay. Aditya says blades of a helicopter. Why don't you, Aditya, go ahead and check what is the amount of torque that is created by blades of a helicopter? Yeah, you can go ahead and check that. That's it, guys.
Sir,
But yeah,
Sir, is there some way we can uh, sir, is there some way we can convert this torque into how fast the vehicle will move?
no.
Like some relation?
There are relations, but you cannot say that that is the only relation. The speed at which the car goes depends on so many things, so many things. It's not just the torque. Okay, because Hummer is offering that much of torque, it's not really, it won't even reach the half of the speed of Lamborghini. It can reach half, more than half, I guess. But Lamborghini can travel at 370s, I guess. So Hummer won't even cross 250s. So torque is not exactly the relative idea about speed. Torque is about how big it can move, or like how a Hummer can actually move around 5 or 6 trucks connected to it. Like you can directly hang in 5 or 6 trucks connected to a Hummer, and you can actually pull them. That is how the Hummer powerful is. Like it is immense torque. It has immense torque. Okay. So yeah, that is it for today. I just wanted to introduce the idea of torque, but the previous topic, the kinematics part, we've already done that, except we are just theoretically doing for all the particles at once. So there's no difference of topics at all. The kinematics part is exactly the same. You go ahead and solve some problems on kinematics today if you can find some. Otherwise, tomorrow I will introduce the topic of torque. All right, guys. Before I end the topic, do you have anything to say? Anything to add about today's topic? If you have any other doubt, we'll
Sir,
talk.
this week we have only kinematics.
Yeah, we'll talk about that just about today's class. If you have any doubts, please ask. Yeah, Neeti, Preeti, tell me.
So does a clicking pen have a torque?
No, clicking pen doesn't really have a torque. You're just clicking it, right? Like there is no perpendicular distance. It's not rotating. A clicking pen, is it rotating about anything? There is no rotating parts in a clicking pen, right? So no, like
So-
whenever you have a rotating body, that's when you talk about torque. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, Chetan, tell me.
sir, in fidget spinner we can see torque, sir.
Definitely, a fidget spinner is a rotating body. The fidget spinner is clearly is a
Even
rotating.
in mouse,
Yeah, even in
mouse, that top wheel.
yeah, the wheel is the wheel. Yes, the mouse wheel. Obviously, it is rotating. Yes, you can talk about torque. Yes, for sure.
Sir,
Yeah.
I have one more doubt, sir, that in revolution only one particle will move, sir.
No, please don't bring about revolutions and rotations right now. That's what I told you. Just look at this topic as a combination of particles going in circular motion. Just
Okay.
deal with the kinematics today. We will jump into all the other topics slowly. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So that's it, guys. That's it for today. Tomorrow we will talk about all the other topics. I mean, like we'll go into the further ideas. I will let you know about the syllabus clearly in the messages. All right. So thanks so much and bye bye, and we will meet again tomorrow.